Okay. So what's the meaning of freedom? I believe that I believe everyone has at least a different definition of freedom because we all have different values. So I tried to find a definition that kind of fits everything. So I just put it means having the privilege to write your own story because, and my evidence is the article A New Nation, and it states, and one of the things that says that pilgrims and Puritans settled in Massachusetts so that they could practice their religious beliefs. And I believe that because I bet over there they wouldn't be able to do that. And so if they come to this new world, they're able to do well, not whatever they want within reason, but they're able to practice these religious freedoms and like farm their own land.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with your statement, Wendy. That everyone has the option to choose what they want to do, but it should be limited a little bit because
Obviously,
consequences. The consequences of their actions should not have a negative effect on someone else. So, my evidence, was also in the article. With the article totally free, and in paragraph 7, the first sentence, it says freedom implies lack of restraint, but we're all better off if our freedoms are preserved and protected. So having some limitations in our freedom will make a safer environment for us.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with what Nathan said, that freedom means the ability to make your own choices and live at your own will, but you can't infringe on others' rights. And my evidence is from the text Totally Free, saying that our nation's leaders carefully defined our freedoms in the Bill of Rights. They did not say everyone is free to do as he or she chooses.
Does anyone else have anything to say? Kennedy, what's your definition?
I said that in my own words. I said freedom means that you can do what you want when you want to do it, but there are limitations that you should follow. And then I got my evidence offline. The best definition that I thought was the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without restraint. So I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that also. I came up with my own definition, and I said that freedom is being able to make your own decisions, speak your opinions freely, and choosing your own path in life just because you have the right to do so. And I came up with that by reading the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights.
So I guess we can all agree the same thing on freedom.
Yeah.
Do you two agree with that too? Do you want to elaborate on this, or do you want to move on to the next question?
What do you think, Ben?
I think by that look, he says we should move on. I thought, all right, sounds good. So, next question: which statement is most compelling for Americans today? Either the preamble to the Constitution or the "We hold these truths" sentence of the Declaration of Independence. And if someone would like to start off by giving their opinion, or just do mine.
I can go.
Sure.
Okay. So I picked the preamble. I believe the preamble is most compelling to America today because it shows how much we've done together through the years. It's in the preamble, it mentions justice, and throughout the years we've been protesting, rebelling. For example, the civil rights movement, and that Constitution is basically giving us permission to fight for what we believe in and what we think is right. That's one of my reasons. Does anyone disagree? Agree?
I agree with you. I also chose the preamble. I think that it's more compelling just because of the voice that they use. It kind of I think it just demands your attention just because they use such a voice of authority. Yeah. Do you agree or disagree, Carissa?
I disagree. I said we hold these true sentences more compelling.
Why do you think that?
It explains our rights as people of America. I don't know. I just.
And for my opinion, I agree with both parts. I don't feel that any one is better than the other. I think they're both very logical, important to the America as a whole, and so one without the other, it's better if both of them are using coherence. That makes America what it is today. And if you had unalienable rights without general welfare, or vice versa, the nation wouldn't be the same.
Kyla, what do you think?
I picked the Woody Holdings Truth sentence, like in the Constitution or Declaration of Independence, because it shows the world that we're all equal as people, no matter what our race is, or our color, or our sexuality, or anything like that. And it states it in the Declaration that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with Kyla. I picked the Declaration of Independence sentence because it shows us today that old documents can be altered to fit today's views. And when it says their creator, I feel as if that's important today because it unites us in a sense of religion, not a specific religion, just religion as a whole.
I never really thought of it like that.
It's an
That's a-
interesting
I agree with that viewpoint. It could go with religion or for like privilege or rights. It could go either way. Trey, what do you think? What did you
Not
think?
sure.
Which one did you pick?
Either?
Like, so both or neither?
Neither.
Why do you think that?
Is it just not like capture?
It's not
No.
compelling to you.
Like, what would make it so it is compelling? What do you think?
I'm not really sure.
Ben, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
I chose the preamble of the Constitution because I think it's really important and there's a lot you can learn from it. Like they're both really important and I think we should understand them both, but I just found the preamble to be more compelling.
Another opinion I have is like there's stuff from the preamble and then there's stuff from the Declaration of Independence we can mush together,
Yeah.
and that would just kind of make it not perfect, but like if we just focus on the Constitution and just focus on the Declaration of Independence, we'll only get halfway. I think that's what I believe. So
I think we've reached a consensus of our opinions. And so we can move on to the next question. What concept studied, read about, or discussed in this unit about writing freedom was most powerful to you and why?
I liked the argumentative or opinionated papers that we just wrote over the preamble or the Declaration of Independence. I liked it the best because I like expressing my opinions, and I'm a very opinionated person, so it was important to me to be able to do so.
So, what I related to the most was the article A New Nation. This is coming from, well, it's not really personal experiences, but the experiences my mom and dad have, because in this article it talks about how they moved, they went across the sea to go to a new nation, and people think, oh, it wasn't. They didn't have to sacrifice anything. They just moved. No, they had to make tons of sacrifices. They went on boats, and I think maybe some people actually died trying to get to this new world to get their freedom. And people think that when people try to become American citizens, it's just taking a test, you're done, you're in. It's actually really complicated. You have to pay a lot of money just to even take the test. And so people don't really understand like the process of it goes through. So people usually look down upon, and I'm pretty sure the British people looked down upon the pilgrims and moved over there too. So I just thought that I just kind of really connected with this one. That was my opinion.
I agree with Keely. I really liked writing the argumentative essays. I feel like I learned a lot from it, not just reading my own, but reading other people's. And I think when someone gets to thinking about a question, that they can pour their heart into it and write something really good. So
And with my opinion, I thought was most powerful to people, not just me, and it was the propaganda unit. Throughout the years, propaganda has been one of the best ways to motivate people, negatively or positively. Could move people to join a cause, rebel against the oppression, or inspire national pride. So, I there's a lot of powerful propaganda pieces mentioned in the English book in pages 53 and 56, and it's interesting to see what it was like at that time and what they wanted people to do.
Trey, what was your favorite concept?
I chose the Lincoln speech. My reason why is because I thought it had the biggest impact on our nation. That's how I wrote it.
Ben, what do you think?
I didn't really have a favorite unit that we went through or anything. Nothing really interested me or compelled me to do anything.
But did you have a unit that maybe you learned a lot from?
Um, Maybe this argumentative essay.
Yeah.
I learned other people's opinions on what they think about the preamble and the Declaration of Independence.
And I agree with your statement, Ben. It's interesting to see what people think about it, well, just their own opinions in general, and it's nice to kind of see other people's viewpoints.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that too.
That's one of the things I picked because, I mean, we all have opinions. No matter who you are, you're going to have an opinion. And not all the time you don't get to speak it without being judged about what we say. So it feels good to write it down and then have somebody else read it.
Yeah. It makes you feel heard
Yep.
and you're not left out. Even like I feel like even if someone doesn't agree with me, I don't mind at all because they can have their own opinion. I'll have mine.
And it's your paper, so
Yeah.
they
Can't
can
really.
ask you to change something,
Yeah.
but you don't have to.
Exactly.
It's a rather peaceful way for everyone to express their own opinions and just for everyone to learn about each other.
It's like writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peaceful protest.
Basically.
Does anyone else want to share?
The concept that was most powerful to me was Ben Franklin's speech in the convention because it shows that your opinions can change by the experiences you go through your life. So if you have an opinion right now, it could change 50 years from now on something.
I actually I saw something like that on YouTube. Actually, I think it's called The Illusion of History. It's like a psychology thing where, like, say right now I'm gonna like the same type of pizza 40 years from now, but I'm probably gonna like something else.
Yeah.
It's the same with that concept.
Yeah.
Do we want to move on to our own questions now? If everyone is that. All right. Krista, do you have a question?
I usually can.
Okay. Kyla.
Well, I have a question. What part of writing is the most important?
I think the peer review is probably the most important, just because hearing other people's feedback on your own paper, you can learn a lot from what other people at your own level think.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with that too, because then you can like, you kind of people influences you like for the better, and you can change your opinions on that. You can grow as a person.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's almost easier to hear it from someone like
Yeah.
a peer rather than a teacher.
Sometimes it's also a lot easier to write. Like you can say things on paper that you wouldn't say maybe out loud.
Yeah.
And then instead of saying it out loud, you could just write it down and somebody could read it, but you won't you're just not saying it out loud.
Yeah.
So,
Oftentimes it's easier to see the other point of view by reading it rather than hearing someone yell it at you.
Exactly.
I agree with that point.
All right, we're gonna end there for this round. Good job, guys. I love what you did. Wait a minute, just sit still. I want, first of all, the outside circle to give me your feedback. What did the inside circle do right here? All took turns, yes, John?
They tried to get Ben to participate.
Let's
And he
talk about
disagreed
No.
like 3 times.
Okay, let's
Come
talk.
on.
What was, I appreciate that, especially from the road. What was most effective in those attempts?
Nothing. They use a connection statements to try
Oh,
to get the data.
And which connection statements were most effective?
They were asking like, what do you think about this topic?
Versus, do you have anything to say? Because that's an easy no, right? But what do you have, what is your opinion about? When you have something specific, and that's not just someone who really doesn't want to talk, that's directing the conversation. When you ask about a specific versus what do you have to say? So be specific when you connect, yeah. Which is why we connect with ideas versus people. Yeah, great. What other good things did they do?
They did a good job of expressing different opinions.
Yes, yeah, there weren't any disagreements that were towards people or in an angry way. Yeah, great. What else? Could you hear them all? Okay, yeah. Volume, I was okay. I wouldn't say it was fabulous, but yeah, so I want the outside circle to maybe speak a little bit louder. So everyone, no one has to string, I should say. What are some other good things that they did? What about evidence and support? They use it, yeah, using evidence. All right, we have about 13 minutes left, so very quickly and quietly transition to the next. We're gonna have to cut short our next one. Yes, yes. All right, okay, so outside circle roles. Let's see, Kimmy and Kennedy, I'd like you to be commentators. Jess and Kyla, I'd like you to be connection trackers. What connection statements are you? Ben and Nathan, evidence trackers. You're tracking who uses what evidence.
What do you prefer?
The other.
What's the difference?
When we show up on the camera, that's the difference.
Wendy.
I don't want to show up my camera.
Wendy,
I don't know
Marissa,
great.
and Trey, commentators.
What's that?
So you're paraphrasing what is being said.
I don't even have a sheet.
Who says what?
Nope, I'm still on camera. And again, I take half the room.
All right, I'm gonna put 12 minutes on, and then we'll have 1 minute after that to reevaluate. All right, so, are you all ready? Oh, jump on, the back channel link on today's lesson. Put your name and your role, guys. Okay, you may begin.
So what is the meaning of freedom? I think that freedom is the ability to do what you want to a certain extent that doesn't break the laws of definition. Those laws are basically laws that are just like trying to balance competing interests. The meaning of the law is that people shouldn't ruin others' lives by telling lies or stories about them, but that people should also be able to speak freely without fear of a lawsuit.
I agree with Kenneth said. I had a similar definition. I looked in the article Totally Free, and it explained how teens say that freedom is the right to do whatever they want. And it says that if teens actually have the right to say, or like the right they think, They might drive a car without a license. They use as an example. So I think that it's important to recognize that we do have laws restricting our freedom.
I agree with Caitlin's statement. I think that a lot of people think that freedom is being able to say or do what you want without getting punished for it, but there should be limitations or we would have like a lot of chaos.
I completely agree with everything that's already been said. To possess freedom is to be able to do what we wish within reason. And we shouldn't be able to do things to harm other individuals. I think that's where the limitations are going.
What do you think, Austin?
I agree pretty much with everything, but like I
What did
have,
you say? What did you say?
well, for the definition of freedom, I had the power of right to act or speak and think as one wants without hindrance. I can't do it.
Was that your own definition, or did you just? Is that what you used?
Like that one.
I agree with him because that's basically what I had. I said that it was the right to do what you want without infringing on someone else's freedom or endangering someone else.
Emma, what do you think?
I think freedom is the ability to make your own choices and also to have a voice for yourself without needing to fear punishment for what you say.
Tyson?
I said that I think freedom is free but limited by law.
I agree, and I think that we all had similar definitions. The next question is, which statement is most compelling for Americans today, either the preamble to the Constitution or the "We hold these true" sentences of the Declaration of Independence?
Personally, I thought the preamble to the Constitution was most compelling just because of some of the stuff that was said in there. Like, for example, in the Declaration, it states that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. But, like, meaning that people aren't given things, and that's pretty much saying that we're given, like, an income or property, and not everyone is given. You have to work what you, like, want.
I agree, and I do see your point, but I personally thought the Declaration of Independence was more compelling, basically because of the statement, all men are created equal. For example, I used the gender wage gap and the Black Lives Matter protests, and I don't believe those things would be happening if the statement was true.
I agree with both of you. I think that both the documents are equally as compelling because one could not work without the other. Like we wouldn't be able to, like all men are created equal. And like that is also part of we the people. Like all of us coming together and treating each other equally.
I agree with what you said, that we all come together and treat each other equally.
I am a bit leaning towards the "We hold these truths" statement from the Declaration of Independence because I felt that really that the preamble to the Constitution it didn't have a lot to it, that it kind of just led up to the Constitution. Like, we gather here today for the Constitution. And meanwhile, the Declaration of Independence said that we have unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay, so I thought that the Declaration was the most compelling because it said that all men are created equal, and that kind of fueled a lot of movements to try and make people equal, and that changed our society the most. So I think that's why.
I said that I was with the Declaration of Independence because I believe that we hold these truths. The statement was more written about.
What do you think, Tyson?
I also agree with everyone who said that the "We hold these true" statement was more compelling because, like, all men and whatever are created equal.
want to add anything, Emma?
Honestly, I feel that both are rarely looked at, but when they do, but looking at them, I have to lean towards the truths rather than all men are created equal, because even back then, all men weren't created. All men weren't created equal, because for them it was very restrictive with who could own land and who could do what, and a lot of differences between people did end up with a lot of people being hurt, such as race and opinions over, say, different rights with people.
Do you believe so saying if they're a different race or if there's something different, they're not exactly created equal?
Yes, because you have to look into history and Africa, when the Africans were brought over, they were far from equal, even though they were still men. They weren't seen as human, you could say.
So you do not believe it. You don't believe when the Declaration of Independence states that all men are equal. You don't agree with the Declaration of Independence.
Back then, they said all men were created equal, even though back then, even they knew that that was a lie. Well, they believed it was a lie, and they didn't treat men equally.
Do you think that that's true today also?
Absolutely, yes. Even today, there is racism. There is hate, protests over different people based on religion, sexual orientation, such and such.
Should we move on to the next question?
Yes.
What concept study you read about or discussed in this unit about writing freedom was the most powerful to you in life? I chose the Gettysburg Address speech by Abraham Lincoln. I didn't know that it was only 2 minutes, and I was actually very surprised how much of an impact that it had on people back then and today, considering it was only 2 minutes long.
I also chose that, but I chose it because I think that it's important to honor and respect the soldiers who fight for us and fought for our freedom.
I chose the speech that Benjamin Franklin spoke because I think that it showed that even though they hadn't signed it yet, that even if it's not exactly how they wanted it to, that they could still improve on it later, and that they needed to get it signed so they could create a better nation for everyone else.
Anything to add, Tyson?
I agree with the people who said Abraham Lincoln's speech was
Mine is, I think my response is kind of unique here. I put the Paul Revere's Ride poem, completely different, but I think that I'll remember that a lot more because of because of it's very descriptive and it put very vivid images in my head.
All right, that's great. I have to cut you short because of the bell is going to be ringing here. Guys, I am so proud of your participation, how you prepared, how you've connected and brought everybody together in this conversation. You've done fabulously, and I know that you've stretched yourself and that you'll stretch yourself even more on our next one. Great job.